to do something just a little bit different than she said because I like to respond to my audience. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit, first of all, as an entrepreneur. Because even though, as Richard said, nonprofits often function in that, I've been an entrepreneur running my own for-profit business for almost 20 years. And that's TLA Incorporated. And so I'm going to share some secrets with you, and we are going to spend a little time at the end talking about growing your philanthropic culture at your small business. So my goal today is that you get something that's meaningful. Put a tip in the tip jar if you get something. Something that's new, put another $1 in there if you get that, and worth pondering, thinking deeply about, because we're going to be a whirlwind this morning. I have 10 minutes, and you have to flag me if I'm running over. Okay, so first tips. How many of you guys have seen a checklist that says, could I be an entrepreneur? And it has all kinds of characteristics. Let me tell you, having been in the for-profit world as an employee, having run a nonprofit, and now having made the transition to working in a nonprofit organization, this is essential to you if you're considering entrepreneurship or if you're in it. Because let me tell you, not everybody is cut out for this work. It takes a lot of energy and commitment and thought and planning and all kinds of other things. So this is a great first checklist, and I gave Vicki a PDF of my presentation so you can capture that URL, so you won't have to worry about that. And also your middle name has to be, what is that word? Flexibility. Do you agree with that? Yes. Absolutely. You got to be flexible in your response to your market. You got to be flexible in how much money do I have in the bank and what can I do? You've got to look at your resources and how you can grow your business. There's a lot of flexibility that's necessary. You have to be agile. So I've got 3 tips for you that I learned from people that were mentors to me, and I hope this is valuable to you. The first one is find somebody you can grow up with. Now, I say that from 2 perspectives, and I'm going to start from my core. My dad and my librarian in my high school were those people for me. And so what I tell you as an entrepreneur is you don't have to be 16 trying to figure out what you're going to do when you grow up, do you? I went through that in 1997 when I started TLA. I had had a career in finance and in library science and in administrative support. And then my husband gave me the best gift he had ever given me when he said, you can do whatever you would like. And then I said, oh my goodness, I don't know what that is. So the first thing is find somebody that you can grow up with, that can help give you ideas, you can bounce ideas off of, that you can talk to, that can tell you you're doing something really stupid or you haven't thought through it. You know, find those folks in your life. And then remember that it takes more than passion. I'm known for my passion in the community for both children and education as well as our community at large. But I'll tell you what, I'm 60 and that passion is not quite as high energy as it used to be. I'm going to be reading to children when I'm 90. I just want you guys to know that. But passion is not the only thing you need to be an entrepreneur. And so one of my dear friends, the person that I do call my best mentor probably in my whole life, was a man named Bob Sweat. When I went to work for him in a small finance company in Florida, he was in 2 states. I was his administrative assistant. By the time I left there 10 years later, he was in 50 states and I was his regulatory compliance officer. So he taught me that prior planning prevents poor performance. Have you guys heard that P before? Don't take that as trite. It is so powerful. Because if you put 1 hour in planning, it's so hard to do that. You're running, you're trying to market, you're trying to figure out what you're doing. You're trying to sell, you're trying to get that product. Don't forget to plan, because that makes a huge difference. And not everybody that starts as a nonprofit or an entrepreneur is going to be successful. This gives you a leg up.
Will you say your quote one more time? Prior planning what?
Oh, there it is right there. It'll be on your PowerPoint when you get it. But prior planning prevents poor performance. Practicing my diction today. Okay, and also have a refuse to fail and a constant learning attitude. Because that is so essential to entrepreneurs. If you're sitting where you were 10 years ago as an entrepreneur, you're not being successful in today's economy, in today's world, in today's changing market. So always have your radar out. That's what I call that. People laugh at me at United Way because I'm always doing that. I have a very distinct work that I do for them. But if I meet somebody that wants to run an employee giving campaign, I have that radar out and I take that to my resource development person. And if I meet somebody that's in need, then I'm sending them to my partner agencies right away. So have your radar out and don't fear failure. That is so important. I was a very, believe it or not, when I was young, I was very passive. And so I was afraid to fail. And so I did a lot of safe things. But I learned early from my daddy and from other mentors that I had that that wasn't going to get me anywhere. And so you have to step out and know that you're going to fail sometimes. But then go back to that planning and ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What happened outside of my control that I could maybe look at from a different perspective? Those things are very, very important. And this is a mentor of mine. This is the only personal picture I have in the presentation. This is my 26-year-old son. And let me tell you that he taught me things as a parent, as an educator, as a compassionate human being. This young man has taught me things. So don't think your mentors have to be older than you. It's getting harder for me to find mentors that are older than me. But I'm telling you, don't wait for the perfect mentor. And you know what? When I was preparing this, I kept thinking, I never thought of any of these people that I mentioned as a mentor. Because what we think of as mentors today is, let me put a ball and chain on you and follow you around and keep you as my personal consultant all your life, right? Very few of those people exist. Bob was the only one I had of all my life, and my husband, probably because he believes in me when I don't believe in myself, and I love that. He's part of the success of TLA. But always think about, when you've got mentors in this room, you've got folks you can learn from. Maybe you're at the same place in the development of your company, but you're in different industries. That's a mentor for you. So look for those kind of mentorships in addition to what we think of with the traditional ones. And then here's a bonus. This is what we're going to talk about for just a few seconds. I do work at United Way Madison County, and I have the honor of being the person that monitors the donors' investments, not from the financial side. We got a great CFO that does that. But from the investment in the agency side. United Way of Madison County takes a long time and a lot of care with community volunteers to pick the right agencies to invest in. We pick high quality, we pick accountability, so that when somebody donates to United Way, they are touching the network of the community. 33 nonprofit agencies, 48 programs are there. And so I'm the accountable person. I'm the one that makes sure those dollars are being spent well. And I'm the one that raises those agencies up. Anytime you want to hear about the work they're doing, we don't have time to talk about that today, but please come and talk to me. This little brochure is a resource for you. It has all the agencies listed in it. It has what they do. I bet you know somebody today that needs a service that one of those agencies provides. And because we blend their efforts together around issues like poverty and education and adult and children's health, then we make those numbers multiply. And if you're able to give $1, then that goes with a $10,000 giver's gift and everything in between. And that's how we're able to move and support and help keep the quality of life that our chamber talks about all the time staying with us. So I want to talk to you just for a second. How am I doing on time? Awesome. Okay. I want to talk to you for just a second about developing your philanthropic culture, because that's going to be different for different ones of you. Some of you that are here really scraping for new business, maybe all you can do is volunteer once a year, once a month, whatever you can do. United Way houses the Volunteer Center of Madison County, and we have a big event that is the most fun thing to do, to go read with children. We're going to be opening up this week probably, or early next week, the portal to register to be a guest reader with United Way for Jumpstart Read for the Record. Last year, we had 1,943 children hear the same story on the same day, and we're shooting for 2,000. So we have 108 sites right now that are going to be taking readers, and we're very excited about that. So maybe all you do is give of your time to start with. But you know what? I'm telling you that if you're an entrepreneur, and you think about setting aside the equivalent of 1 hour pay period per whatever your pay period is, 2 weeks, a month, year, whatever, that little gift, if we had everybody in this room do that, it would make an amazing. And that's why I brought my friend Teresa with me, because she works for Progress Bank, and she is our division chair for small business. So maybe you just start by giving $10 or $25 a year. Maybe that's all you can do as a young entrepreneur. Do something. Because I'll tell you, I walk with agencies that see people that you wouldn't believe are living in this affluent community. Children who go to bed hungry. We have them. Nearly 20% of our children are living in poverty in this community. A lot of us don't know that. We have people who are disabled that want to work and don't know how to get into the job market, and we're helping them. And we have people that that lose a house to a fire, and that could be any of us. And there's the American Red Cross, and that's where our money goes. So think about that. And I've got just a little bit of information. I thought this was really interesting. Let me see if I can get my pointer to go. In 2015, 47% of small businesses plan to give more to charity. We haven't seen the 2016 yet. And 49% plan to donate the same amount. 90% of donations support local causes. And that's the thing I want to tell you. Your money stays here. 82 cents of every dollar goes out in the community working for your community. We are very, at United Way, strict about our admin costs. And as an entrepreneur, you need to be aware of what your admin costs are if you're not. Whether you're nonprofit or for-profit, look at that. But we are trustees for the community. If you went and tried to decide what charity was the right one for you to invest in, you're going to invest in one piece of the answer. We're investing in a portfolio of the answer. You would also have to spend a lot more time researching on Charity Tracker or Navigator or whatever. We do that for you. So you can have a lot of trust, and you can come and ask us anytime, tell me where my money's going, because we like that. We like to hear that. So I'm going to stop here and say that there is a little form that's on the Progress Bank letterhead that I didn't even know what this was till Teresa brought it. But it is an opportunity if you'd like to think about being involved on a small level or whatever you can. If you can't give monetarily right now, also remember the Volunteer Center of Madison County is there. It's just thevolunteercentermc.org. I never completely read my slides, so there'll be more information we didn't get to. And that's good, but I have listed my contact information both at TLA, who is practicing. I'm not doing marketing, but the great news is that as the author of 3 books and a national consultant for 20 years, I still get passive business. So that's kind of where I am right now, because I've laid that aside, so to speak, in part to give back to my local community. And it takes every bit of energy I do, and I love every day, and I love talking to people about caring agencies, about the power of working together. And so I thank you so much, Vicki, for allowing us to be here and to talk with you guys today.